Good afternoon. My name's Alex Black. I am in the Business Cornerstone 23692 class. And for my ethics reflection, we are going over the dark side of Shein's success. China Tonight ABC News story about the exploitation of workers and the whole kind of backstory behind that. So, starting with our first point, analyzing the actions of the fast fashion companies like Shein and their ethical responsibilities towards customers. Where from my research, companies like Shein are normally provided ethical responsibilities towards workers, like the environment, issuing fair wages, safe working conditions, and respect for workers, and while avoiding the exploitation of low wages and trying to be totally transparent about it. That's what it's supposed to be. Which brings us to our second point, is evaluating the decision-making process that contributes to the unethical labor practices, which meaning a lot of the bad stuff that went on in the industry, where in the fast fashion companies, they would prioritize low cost, rapid turnover sourcing, meaning constantly working, weak labor laws leading to worker exploitation, unsafe conditions, and to multiple unsafe working conditions and injuries, which obviously is extremely hard to avoid if you don't have those very transparent rules. Which brings us to our third one: reflect on the role of transparency and honesty. The lack of transparency and honesty about the supply chains and unethical practices for consumers was a huge human rights violation, where if you're trying to cover that up, that's a big no-no. By remaining so non-transparent about this was decisions to perpetuate harm, and it needed to be highlighted so this could be fixed and resolved. Bringing myself to my fourth point, consider the ethical obligations of influencers, marketers, endorsers who promote fast brands like Shein, and what responsibility do they have to consumer awareness and ethical practices. Influencers and marketers and endorsers who promote fashion brands like Shein often have a big ethical responsibility to promote quality ethical practices such as non-exploitation of workers, fair wages, safe working conditions, etc. And using the platform right, influencers can share different information about how things are supposed to go and the exploitation of certain labor laws in certain countries, and some of these hardships some of these people have to face. And brings us to our last point: reflect on the broader ethical decisions that can be learned from issues within the fashion industry, labor rights, sustainability, and their implications for future business practices. The fast fashion industry highlights a couple critical ethical lessons about the importance of labor rights, sustainability, and transparency, providing profit over people, so leading to a lot of exploitation and a lot of corruptness, environmental harm, etc. And a lot of these issues emphasize unfair wages, unsafe working conditions, and overall, I think that is totally unacceptable, where I believe that we all need to be compensated for work, and I believe by highlighting this that we can all take something we can learn from it and then bring it forward and then do better. That pretty much does it up for me. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.